My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. And it is a sleepy good card. It's a very good card. 2 title fights. Our feature fight is 5 full rounds. So it's a very fun night of solid matchups. So let's walk through the entire card. We're going to break down the entire card, who we think wins, how they win. We'll break down their DraftKings values. We'll break down the bets. We'll break down the monkey knife fight strike line. So first up at UFC 263, we have Carlos Felipe versus Jake Collier in a heavyweight matchup. And this is a very interesting matchup, Dano. Jake Collier was like a middleweight.
Hold on. Let's just for 1 second. Let's slow down for a quick second. We're talking about a guy named Jake. We got to tell the people.
Oh, okay. You're right.
The people's champ is. He's
I
out
almost got
today.
so mad at you because I thought you were literally going to make me redo that.
No.
And then I was like, is he kidding me? Yeah.
I
So
may do that later, though, just to aggravate you. But no, we got, I mean, come on. Where's
You're
the
right,
people's
you're
champ?
right.
It's the first thing people are going to be asking about.
you're right. Jacob is
They might
not
have tuned out
here.
already by now.
Jacob is not here. He had to do some real life work stuff, so he couldn't join us. He did film a Lock of the Week video. We uploaded it already, so you can check out the Lock of the Week. He will be here on Friday when we do our final bets, our final DraftKings, our final monkey knife fight, and all of that. So he's not here, which means no fart jokes today. No Instagram, no picks based off of Instagram. Just solid fight insight for you. So
we'll try to carry the comedic relief for him, but it's a tall task. So
yeah, I haven't creeped on anybody's Instagram, so I won't have those little tidbits for you. But listen, I'm going to try not to say interesting. I'm going to try not to say tricky as much as I do. It's impossible.
Do it more, and just so
let's lean into it.
Yeah.
So this one's interesting. Jake Collier used to be a middleweight and was kind of jacked, and then he ballooned up to like a mess, just a mess of a person. But now he seems to be, the picture's not doing him justice because he seems to be working his way back into shape. He seems to be taking this pretty seriously, and he is a big dude. I don't know how he was ever middleweight, let alone light heavyweight. And now he's a big heavyweight. And it'll be interesting because the odds makers think it's kind of a mismatch. The DraftKings price says it's a mismatch. I think it's a pretty close fight. Felipe actually has some solid cardio. He has some solid boxing, and he's, if Collier's cardio is an issue, Felipe can probably take over. But Collier is talented and well-rounded. Genuinely, he's pretty good everywhere. Has a head like a brick. And I think he has cleaner boxing and some solid striking, and I think he may be able to get this done. But Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is a little closer than the odds suggest. I actually think Collier's got a good chance at winning this fight. In my mind, this is kind of a coin flip fight. I was breaking down tape on both of them, and Collier, like you said, used to be a middleweight, took a bunch of years off, came back, and he's right at 265. The good thing is he's tall. He's 6'3", so he's not undersized in terms of height. But anyways, he took 3 years off, came back, lost to Aspinall, which, I mean, that's a tough task to come back and be a heavyweight against a guy who's that athletic, that good at striking. So he lost that fight. But then he came back after that and beat Guillaume Vellante, his last fight. And I'll tell you what, he looks very athletic as a striker, especially for a big boy. He mixed up his offense well. Great leg kicks, good jab, nice left hook. He throws it to the head and to the body. I really like his left hook is very diverse. He's got counter hooks, he's got check hooks, and like you said, he's got a head like a brick. And he does actually, when I was on the Ultimate Fighter with Rampage, he called it the cover and roll, which is basically shell, and then off of the shell, they throw punches on off of the shell, you come back with counters. He does that very, very well, and he catches guys a lot off of their punches. So I mean, the Vellante fight, he had Vellante hurt in the first round. He landed the left hook a million times, a million different ways. Um, he does it off the leg kick. He throws a right leg kick and resets, and as his body comes back, he throws a left hook right off of it. So I think he's very talented as a striker. He's probably lacking in power a little bit. I would say that's one of the downsides to being a middleweight that goes to heavyweight. But in terms of athleticism and just volume, I mean, he threw, I think, over 250 strikes last fight. That's insane for a heavyweight. And he didn't look terribly out of, I mean, he looked like he was in pretty good shape. If you throw 250 strikes at any weight class, you should be feeling that, especially as a heavyweight. And he looked good. I thought his conditioning was good. And I think he won that fight just because he wanted it more in the third round. And he was in better shape. So I was very impressed with his last fight. But, like you said, he's fighting Carlos Felipe, who's 10-1. There is a height discrepancy. He's only 6 feet tall. So there will be a reach advantage for Collier. I don't know that that's going to really come into play, but um, Felipe's only loss, he's only got one loss. He's on a 2-fight win streak since then against Jorgen De Castro and Justin Tafa, both pretty good strikers as well. And just kind of looking at the tape in both those fights, he's kind of an interesting fighter. Like, I feel like he's the sort of guy where you almost have to pull the fight out of him. Like, if you're willing to take a measured approach and kind of have a kickboxing match, almost light sparring type format, he'll do that. But if you pressure him, he'll also bomb with you. So there was a lot of that in the De Castro fight. The first round, they were both very measured. When he throws punches, though, he throws heat. He throws big overhands. He's got fast hands. The one downside I would say is, unless he's in a firefight exchange, he doesn't throw multi-punch combinations. I think Collier has an edge there. Like, he's not setting up 3-4 punch combinations unless it's, all right, we're trading and I'm just going to let my hands go. So that was the first round of that fight. The second round, I think he thought he lost the first. He came out aggressive. Or De Castro came out aggressive, sorry. And that brought the aggression out of Felipe. So kind of what I was saying earlier, it's like, once you bring it out of him, he's ready to go. And he will stand and bang with you. He does have decent cardio striking wise. But that was an unbelievable fight. I don't know if you watched it, but that fight too, they both threw over 100 strikes, which for heavyweights is a ton. Then his last fight against Tafa, same thing early as the De Castro fight. They both kind of felt each other out. That benefited Tafa big time because Tafa likes that Mark Hunt style approach. He'll sit there and he's going to win those battles all day long. And then later on in the fight, Felipe kind of took over. Third round ended up being an absolute war. Very close split decision for Felipe. So both these guys have a lot of skills. I just think that Collier, I could see Collier winning this off of volume and just staying a little bit busier. They're heavyweights, so you never know what could happen. Felipe could starch him in the first. I don't really see Collier doing that just because he's not as powerful, but I could see this being a slugfest fight that goes 3 rounds where they trade for 2 minutes, rest against the cage for a minute, trade for another 2 minutes, and do that the entire fight. And I could see Collier pulling off a split decision or a very, very, very close fight. So I think there's value on Collier at 165. I think he's got a little bit cleaner boxing. And like I said, the volume just staying busier. I could see him edging it out. I think it's worth a stab, especially at plus money. So I'm taking Collier on this one. I don't know if I'm going to have him in my DraftKings, just the way things are panning out right now. But he's definitely, in my opinion, a very good value across the board. Bets, DraftKings, and let's see, on the more or less.
It's a hard line.
I'm going to go more.
More for heavyweights. Yeah. Because I don't think there'll be a stoppage in this fight. I think both of them, their heads are too hard. And Jake Collier used to be a middleweight. There's no way he's not Anthony Johnson that can move that many weight classes and still have that kind of power. So he's not going to have the knockout power. I agree with
Collier will bring the volume out of Felipe because he walks forward, shells. Like, they're going to be exchanging, I think. I don't see a ton of feeling out in this fight. I don't think Collier will let it happen.
I think more, you know, that the Felipe one is 75.5. That worries me a little bit. That is a lot. So I think more is probably the pay with Monkey Knife Fight. I am not touching it for DraftKings as well. I think Felipe is too much at 8,700. I think Jake is too much at 7,500. This card has a few underdogs that are much cheaper that will do better, in my opinion. But if you do want to play
5-round fights,
yeah, exactly. If you do want to place a bet on this, my recommendation is those plus 3.5 bets. The odds were heavy, meaning the plus 3.5 on Jake Collier, which means all he has to do is win one single round, which I think he will absolutely do. The odds were like minus 190, which was a bit much for me. But if you want to place that bet, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have a whole bunch of options for you for free money with Bet Online. They have by far the best prop and options for sportsbook betting for UFC.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna.
My pick here is Carlos. I think Carlos wins, and I think cardio is the reason. I think Jake Collier will win the first round, and he'll start to fade, and then Carlos will take over as the fight goes on. That's why I'm in love with that 3.5 bet. I can pick Carlos here, and then I could put 3.5 bet on Jake Collier, and all I need out of Jake is one round. That's it, one round, and then don't get finished, and I'll win my bet and I'll get paid. And Bet Online is the only site that offers those 3.5 bets, which is why I love them.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the Bet Online thing. So I know there's a lot of people on here. We talk DraftKings, we talk Monkey Knife Fights. There's some people who haven't done betting yet just because, you know, if it's not legal in your state or whatever, they don't have a sports book. I've tried I've used all of the different sports books sites. Bet Online, especially for MMA, is, in my opinion, is by far the best. And most of the people I talk to on the internet that bet agree because of what Angelo said. They have the most props, and they're the first to come out with props. So we're going to start trying to launch these bet videos earlier. You know, we used to do it Friday. Now we're doing it now. So if you can jump on a line early, it's such a benefit. So anyways, check it out. It's a lot easier than you think. Once you sign up, it's very easy to get money in, get money out. I've never had any issues either way. I've done it in Bitcoin. I've done it in credit cards. You name it, they make it pretty easy. And they have a customer support team that's fully legit too. So if you do have an issue, give them a call. They'll square it away for you. So strongly recommend them. Go to our site. It'll help us out. And we'll also give you some free cash for signing up because we're trying to promote their brand and build a business with them. So check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So pay attention to our picks. And then also we do a full betting guide breaking down our actual bets. So let's move on to the next fight.